Stephanie Domerat with your weekly recap. We will be catching you up on some of the biggest stories of the week, and that includes the newest indictment against Jesse Calhoun, already in court for 3 murders, plus part of an arrest caught on camera in the case of a man who allegedly lured a child from her home, and the long-awaited return of an iconic restaurant in West Portland. Our top story this week, the man accused of killing 3 women and dumping their bodies across the Portland area is now charged with a 4th murder. A grand jury indicted Jesse Calhoun for the death of 22-year-old Kristen Smith, who was reported missing back in December of 2022. Police and prosecutors have not said how they linked Calhoun to the deaths of Smith and 3 other women or how he knew them. On Tuesday, Smith's mother made a plea for answers.
We hope that Jesse Calhoun, if he has any heart and soul in him at all, will give us the least he could give us, the respect to tell us why. Why our girls? How? Just tell us.
Investigators previously linked Calhoun to a 5th victim, Ashley Rial, but no charges have been filed in that case. A man accused of crashing a tow truck in Vancouver into several cars, then running away, was found dead Wednesday. This happened just after 5 in the evening on Mill Plain near 160th in Vancouver. Police say the suspect ran a red light, hitting at least 4 cars. 10 people were hurt, with 2 now in serious condition. The driver ran off, and police later found him at his apartment complex. The SWAT team was called after reports the suspect may have had a gun. When officers went into the apartment, they say they found the man dead from what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A reminder, if you or someone you know is struggling, help is available for you 24/7. Just call or text 988, the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which provides confidential support and crisis resources. Again, that number, 988. Well, this was the moment Salem police found a suspected kidnapper hiding in some bushes. The response and the aftermath recorded in part by home surveillance video. The suspect, who is now in custody, is accused of luring an 11-year-old girl from her home, sexually abusing her, and even offering her meth. Alma McCarty spoke with her father and police about how she was saved.
I just keep replaying it in my head.
Roy Ivy replaying the terror from just a day prior. The family's realization that his 11-year-old daughter wasn't in the front yard.
She was yelling and yelling and yelling and couldn't find her. I said, well, she's probably out picking blackberries. She said, Dad, I looked. She's not picking blackberries.
That was just after 4 p.m. Tuesday. By 5, nearly every available Salem police officer and the surrounding community would be searching high and low.
She has low spectrum autism, high functioning, low spectrum. So she really doesn't wander, except for this one time. She wandered.
Wandered when a stranger lured her away. Ivy said with the promise to see some rocks and crystals.
When I was her age, I could run all over. My wife could run all over with not an issue. I don't let them go by themselves anywhere for this reason.
After an hours-long search, a neighbor pointed out some suspicious activity to investigators who were out canvassing in this neighborhood. From there, officers found the missing girl in this area. Surveillance video shows the moments police pulled the suspect from the shrubs, less than a quarter mile from where he'd allegedly taken her.
He was holding her and stroking her arm, and he had kissed her cheek.
Investigators identified this man, 48-year-old Elijah Galaviz Arce, as the suspect, facing kidnapping and sex abuse charges.
These sorts of behaviors are very abnormal in a community as a whole, and typically, in my experience and my training, these sorts of behaviors don't sort of pop up overnight.
That's why Salem police are sharing this photo, because detectives believe there could be other victims.
I'm pissed at him. I am pissed at anybody who thinks that this is okay. These are children. Let them be children.
In Salem, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
People who live in Northwest Portland's Pearl District says recent violence has them feeling vulnerable and in some cases taking their protection into their own hands. Over the past few weeks, there have been multiple incidents near Tanner Springs Park. According to PPB, in late July, a man followed a resident into the parking garage of the Cosmopolitan condos before stealing a camping hatchet from a vehicle and carrying it around inside the garage. Around that same time, security video from the Fields Bar and Grill shows a shirtless suspect attacking a woman seemingly out of nowhere.
Well, it makes us feel unsafe, especially when the assaults are happening in our blocks. And, you know, they're happening to elderly people because we have a huge elderly population here in the Pearl.
I did buy some mace, some bear mace, some mace, because I realized you got to protect yourself. You know, there's no police to come to your rescue.
Now, residents are also concerned about a 200-bed homeless shelter the city of Portland is opening in the neighborhood in September, despite fierce pushback from the Northwest District Association. The association president said they believe the shelter will make things less safe in the Pearl. A Washington County deputy shot 7 times while serving an eviction notice on a tenant is now suing the owners of the apartment complex where it happened for more than $20 million. The lawsuit claims those responsible for running the complex in Tualatin were negligent in letting law enforcement know what they were getting into. Deputy Charles Doze was serving an eviction notice to 34-year-old Chris Graves, an otherwise routine assignment. But after breaking down the door, Graves started shooting, hitting Deputy Doze twice in the head, causing him to lose his left eye and multiple teeth.
My dad was the first one in and immediately got shot. Like, how do you even prepare for that?
After several hours of a standoff, a SWAT team found Graves dead inside the apartment. The lawsuit claims not only did the apartment owners and managers fail to take steps to de-escalate the situation in the months leading up to the eviction, they allegedly did not let Deputy Doze know the tenant might pose a danger to himself or others. The Washington County Sheriff's Office said Doze remains on leave. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek signed 4 bills into law Wednesday addressing the state's behavioral health and substance abuse crisis. One notable bill aims to make it easier to force treatment on people with severe mental illness.
So when we see people on the street who might be having a crisis, I think we're going to have a more direct path to saying, hey, let's get you some health care right now because you're clearly in crisis. And because you're so ill, you might not know it.
Other laws fund new residential treatment facilities and support safety for behavioral health workers. And we love a good comeback story because Portland's oldest steakhouse, Ringside, which was shut down by a fire this spring, is now back open. Joe Ranieri has more on what it means for the owner and the team.
The restaurant reopened on Friday and over the weekend to special guests, but now it's open to the public. And I spoke with some employees earlier this afternoon who told me they never lost a paycheck during the closure.
Our families ran a lot of restaurants for a long time. We've never had a fire. Turn on some lights here.
It has been a long 4 months for Scott Peterson and his family after a fire inside the kitchen of Ringside Steakhouse in April.
You lost light fixtures, ceilings, washed out rugs, ruined walls, artwork, all that. Had to get that all put back together, restored.
His family has been running the restaurant since the 1940s.
It's back exactly how it was before it happened.
Inside, filled with cherished memories.
It's fantastic. It's big to the community. It's big to our family, our staff. It's all of that. Right here is where the fire started.
The fire started in the middle of the afternoon and everyone was able to get out safely.
It was in the back of the wall. So at that point, we were like, you told everybody, smoke was starting to, fill up. We were like, everybody get your stuff and get out.
Carter Vaughn was working over the grill when he noticed flames.
I was there the day it kind of went up, if you will. So, we tried to put it out, used the fire extinguisher, ran out, turned the gas line off.
Once Peterson was able to get a crew inside to start renovating, it took less than 3 months from it to go looking like this.
So every square inch of the restaurant's been redone.
To what it looks like now. And during that time,
the staff was all paid.
All of the more than 80 employees still got a paycheck.
We're just happy to be back. Yeah, and welcome. Please come in and enjoy, and hopefully we're picking up where we left off.
And are now looking forward to getting back to what they do best.
Just the action, to be back in it, making sure our regulars are taken care of, making sure the cooks are, operating at a high level.
Scott Peterson, who you just heard from, who's been part of this restaurant since he was a 7th grader, told me the cost to fix everything is going to range anywhere from between $650,000 to $750,000. As for a cause, that still is being investigated. Along West Burnside, Joe Ranieri, KGW News.
And in an effort to move blue and red line trains through downtown, TriMet will permanently close the Skidmore Fountain Mac station. Starting August 24th, trains will run directly between Old Town, Chinatown, and Oak Street. The TriMet board approved the closure last year, saying the station was just 500 feet from the next stop and had low ridership. Now, here's a look at your weather.
Happy Friday to you from the Rose City. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. We have a beautiful Friday and warmer, but a nice Saturday upcoming. Our big headline is still tracking the hot weather that's in store for our area this coming Sunday afternoon through Monday afternoon. Our local office of the Weather Service has an extreme heat watch up. This includes all of our region in the Willamette Valley in Southwest Washington, from I-5, Kelso, Longview, Castle Rock, all the way down through Portland, Salem, Albany, and all the way down through Eugene. The excessive heat or extreme heat is also being warned for in the western Columbia River Gorge and all the way to the Hood River Valley for hot weather. So weather models had been trending down for Portland a little bit each of the last couple of days. And then the models that came out late yesterday afternoon and held course this morning started bumping temperatures back up. So we're kind of right where we started when we were talking about this earlier in the week, and that would put the Willamette Valley Sunday and Monday in the range of at least 95 to some spots could hit 100. And for folks at the beach, we don't get a lot of these just super warm, clear sky days, but we think we will, especially on Sunday. Coast highs no cooler than 75. I think a lot of the Oregon coast will be 80 or slightly better on Sunday, and there could be some spike locations up to about 90. Now, the best chance to hit 90 along the coast would be slightly inland areas like Tillamook that sets into a valley. So we're watching that. Here are the numbers specifically for Portland for the weekend. 86 tomorrow, no warnings, just a nice warm August afternoon. The record, by the way, is 105. Back in the heat wave of 1981 that still holds a lot of our records locally. And then here comes the KGW Weather Impact Alert for the hot 96 on Sunday. The record's 107, so we're not talking about records because records depend on the individual dates, and these dates have hot past to them. Monday 97, Impact Alert, record is 102 back in 1977. There's a big high pressure system sitting about right here out in the Pacific that's going to continue to strengthen and then continue to push the cloud flow farther to the north. That will give us the clear sky pattern, including our beaches, as I mentioned, all the way through the weekend. Our cameras are fantastic on this Friday. Here's our Schnickwins Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City, where it could be 70 degrees this afternoon. There's our state capitol with sunshine as well. And here's downtown Portland on a Friday with, we'll call it mostly clear skies. You can see a little ribbon stretch of some kind of flat individual cumulus clouds here over the West Hills. Our valley forecast numbers. For today, we get back up into the 80s. We have been in the 70s. Of course, we had the rain back on Wednesday. Today, 84 in Salem, pretty close to normal for this time of the year, light northwest winds. Southwest Washington also expected at 80. In fact, this shows 82 in Longview, Battleground, and Vancouver. And I have Portland also getting up to about 82. Here are the numbers statewide, highlighting no hot weather today. Nobody's going to be hitting 90. In fact, Pendleton only 82. That's really considered cool this time of the year for you folks. About 86 in the Dalles. Winds in the Columbia River Gorge this morning have been light. Just a beautiful sunny day. And then you've got the 80 or slightly warmer in the Willamette Valley and the 60s to 70 at the coast. So our latest forecast numbers, 82 in Portland this afternoon, really nice. 86 tomorrow. Get things done like yard work if you can to avoid being out in the heat on Sunday and Monday afternoons. Sunday afternoons, we mentioned 96, the KGW Weather Impact Alert will be in effect. 97 on Monday. Models split as to whether or not we will be in the 80s or just get up to 90 on Tuesday, but certainly we'll lose the extremity of the heat, if you will. And then 80 on Wednesday, and we're actually tracking at least a chance of some rain showers or temperatures cooling all the way into the 70s on Thursday of next week. It will be sunny, but don't forget, if you're in the Portland area, really hot Sunday and Monday.
We've got a couple of traffic alerts to pass along as we roll into our weekend. First off is the fourth in a series of 5 weekend closures of 217. 217 northbound is closed from 9 o'clock Friday through as late as 5 o'clock on Monday morning for continuation of that 217 auxiliary lanes project. They're paving. They'll be doing it again next weekend as well. Again, the closures from 99W to Shoals Ferry. Coming up on Sunday morning, the 29th Providence Bridge Pedal. Thousands of cyclists will take over several Portland downtown bridges, getting a great view of downtown. Of course, you want to be prepared for this. If you want to have nothing to do with getting stuck in the traffic, we have a complete story on KGW.com, but here are some of the major impacts. 6 partial bridge closures. The most significant, the southbound Fremont, that's the top deck, I-405. Northbound Markham, that's also the top deck, and the westbound Ross Island Bridge. ODOT reports that all of those bridges will reopen by no later than 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. And coming up on Monday, the Northeast 42nd Avenue Bridge over Northeast Lombard closes for 2 years as PBOT does some seismic upgrades and widening. The detour is a lengthy one. It's more than 3 miles from Killingsworth over to Cully and Columbia Boulevard, or all the way out to 82nd Avenue. Again, that is going into effect on Monday morning.
All right, Chris, thank you. And that is a wrap on your weekly recap. I'm Stephanie Domerat. Thanks for watching. A reminder, you can catch up on your latest headlines anytime on KGW.com, your KGW app, or our YouTube channel. Have a great weekend.